Imagine you're planning a trip to Hawaii for your honeymoon, and you want to rent a car, and your only option is a $200 Toyota Yaris that is 30 miles away from the airport. Well, fine, it's a once-in-a-lifetime trip, so you go, you do it, you take a taxi to the car rental shop, and when you get there, oh, sorry, we are out of inventory. And by the way, no refunds, it's in the contract. That is the state of the motorcycle rental industry today. It's crazy bad, unbelievable. There's basically only one brand with a monopoly over traditional motorcycle rentals. And they can charge whatever they want, and they treat customers however they want. But also, part of the reason why their prices are so expensive is that people don't like to ride during the winter. So they have to pay for salaries, electricity, and all these fixed costs when they barely generate any revenue when it's cold. Because nobody rides motorcycles when it's snowing, right? You freeze to death. So we started RidersShare. RidersShare is an Airbnb, but for renting motorcycles. We connect unused motorcycles to vetted riders that want to use them. You lease your motorcycle on the platform, you get booking requests, we make sure they have a motorcycle license, that they know what they're doing, and we hook them up. This is a concept that has worked really well with homes. Everyone knows Airbnb. But also Turo is a car-sharing startup worth over $1.5 billion. It's also worked with boats, RVs, and now motorcycles. We launched in February of this year, and we're now generating over $70,000 per month. That's about 80% in growth per month, not per year, per month. And so we want to thank the accelerator for their help. It's been great. The crazier part is that we generated $70,000 in revenue, spending only $7,000 in advertising in that month. Crazy, right? The market is pretty big. We can keep growing. The market leader generates over $100 million in revenue per year. But more importantly, there are about 20 million people that have a motorcycle license in the US and do not currently own a motorcycle. And in Europe, there's double that number. So it's a pretty big market. We have over 2,000 motorcycles have been listed on our platform to date. Less than 2% of our trips result in an accident or have any kind of issue. The owners are generating on average $150 per booking, and we are generating $100 per rental day. It's twice the price that a car rental company commands, but still half as expensive as a brick-and-mortar motorcycle rental shop. One of our biggest challenges has been insurance, of course. People think motorcycles and people think accidents. But the reality is that motorcycles are not as expensive as a car, and they do not cause significant third-party liability. So early on, we overpaid in insurance costs, but we now have track record, which is also one of our biggest moats in risk management of motorcycle insurance. So in beginning of October, we started having profitable unit economics of 11%. And we're targeting 60% by the end of next year. Eagle Rider is our main competitor. They're the incumbent with over $100 million in revenue and all those problems that we mentioned earlier. But we also have a direct competitor called Twisted Road. Our main advantage compared to them is that they do not have insurance. They require people to bring their own. And with motorcycles, not like car rentals. Your personal policy does not cover rentals, so they have no traction. On the other hand, we've been featured on multiple motorcycle magazines and outlets, as well as a couple of national publications like USA Today. Our customer acquisition costs are very low. It only costs us $11 to convince somebody to list a motorcycle on our platform. Motorcycle riders are very possessive of their bikes. So yeah, we have tested a lot of different ways to convince them to list their bikes. And it only costs us $20 to convince one to rent a motorcycle. My co-founder is Brendan Lamb. He's a full-stack developer with over 10 years of experience. And I worked in the auto industry for about 7 years and was the youngest manager too at Hyundai Capital before quitting to start RidersShare. We were part of the Venture Fellows program from Pritzker Group this summer, where we were advised by Peter Liu. Ken Walster is in the board of advisors. He's the former founder of Bike Bandit, which used to be the largest e-commerce website for motorcycle gears and parts. And David Stakely is the lead investor in our current seed round. We set out to raise $300,000, and it looks like we're going to oversubscribe it to $500,000 at a $1.80 million valuation with preferred equity. For those interested, there's very little time left. Yeah, this is RidersShare, the Airbnb of motorcycles. Thank you very much.